To all my snowed in ice stand people today, to all my lovely women who are sitting and enjoying a moment of rest. Sometimes I think God works through even the weather to give us what we need, even though when we don't verbalize that's what we need. He knows what our soul needs. And I was just taking a moment and I was thinking, and I was like, let me share this with other people that when we really need rest, even when we don't tell ourselves that we need rest, even when we're going about and we may just say it passively, like, oh, I feel like I need to chill a little bit. I feel like I'm going a little hard. I feel like I just need to sit down. But the to do list is sky high. What days like snowed in ice days teach us is it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. If I don't show up, it's gonna be okay. If it does not get done, the world is gonna continue. It's okay for me to step back and that thing have not gotten done. And some of us may be tempted, and I am gonna be doing a good bit amount of work today. Some of us may be tempted to fill these time periods with busyness and like, let me just stuff in this or that or this. But the reality is sometimes we have to realize and recognize what the moment really is. And we have to say, I feel like that this is a time where God is wanting me to just kind of sit down and be with Him. I feel like this is a time where I have been praying and fasting and asking the Lord for answers for certain things. I feel like He wants me to just sit with Him and allow Him to pour into me. Allow Him to give me the strategies that I have been praying and asking Him for. Because we don't only need clarity on what God is calling us and asking us to do, we also need clarity on how God is asking us to do it. And I would be lying to you if I said it all come at once for a lot of us. For me, there have been so many different things that God has been dropping in my spirit. And I'm just like, how? And what I got over the last 2 days was how. And I'm a planner person. I love planners. I created a planner, the Be the True You planner, and you can go check that out in the link in the description. Sometimes we need to step away from our plans and say, this is what I'm feeling in my spirit right now. So let me just go along with that thought. And if you're like me, I don't know what your maximized, optimized time of the day is, but my optimized time of the day is the morning. It's just the time where my brain is just like, there is so much that we have to do, but my brain is just like, let's just think without like the pressure of thought. Let's think without the pressure of the to do list. Let's think creatively. And my brain just starts to like, what about this? What about that? Allow your brain the space to have curiosity. Because when you allow your brain the space to have curiosity, the answers that you have been seeking from the Lord start to come to you without you having to even ask. I had not even prayed yet this morning when God had started downloading what He was downloading to me. And sometimes we just have to create space for Him. And that space may not always look like being on your knees and praying. I was praising and worshiping yesterday, but it may not look like that. It may look like you just laying in the bed for an extra few minutes without picking up your phone. Or if you did pick up your phone, you picked up your phone and went to what you was led to instead of just picking up your phone and going to Instagram and looking at something random. And I just want to say, when you start to have these times in these spaces, don't allow people to fill them up with what's urgent for them. Just because somebody else is at home chilling and they want to be on the phone with you for 3 or 4 hours or 2 hours. No. I rarely get to be at home all day long and not have something that I absolutely have to leave the house for. And so if you have that moment, and that moment is not really taken up by something else, even if it is, carve some time out to be like, I really want this time to be sacred. I want to feel like this time is valuable because what I'm going to do today is plan. What I'm going to do today is create a calendar for the next quarter of my life because January came and smacked me, and I was like, wait, hold up, what are we doing? Slow down. And it may have smacked you the same way, but we are not allowing February to come in like January did and take over our whole year, because what I realized, I was so busy, but I did not make any movement towards anything. I was busy, but I did not make movement. And in this season, I want to make movement. And sometimes, in order to get the clarity that we are asking for God, it may call for us to go on a fast. I usually start my fast January the 1st, but this year I wasn't really feeling starting it on the 1st, because sometimes we can do things and it can start to become a tradition, and we're not really getting what it is that we're supposed to get out of it, because we're just doing it but we're not asking and seeking from the Lord his leading on what that fast is supposed to look like. So usually I do a Daniel's fast at the beginning of the year and then 21 days. I don't think I did Daniel's last year. I think I did something else. But either way, I usually do like a really strict no meat. I think last year I was able to eat fish or something, whatever. But this year, my fast, I felt like was supposed to be different, because I seen, after just paying attention to my body more, that for me, plant-based does not work. For me, plant-based reduces my energy. I had some issues. So for me and my blood type, meat is what's good for me, as well as vegetables. So keto lifestyle is really the best option for me. And I've seen that. But I love a carb. I love a carb. So I was like, okay, I feel led to do a keto fast. I feel led to say it's just going to be meat and vegetables. And so I was thinking, like, that don't sound hard enough. Look, come on. Let's just be honest. When we feel something in our spirit, that little Pharisee is like, oh no, that's not a real fast. That's not hard enough. But is that what God told you to do? Little did I know how much of a hold did carb and sweets have on me. Because every day after I got through eating that meat and vegetable, I was like, if I could just have a little rice. If I could just have a little bit of, just give me a little bit of this lemonade. I had lemonade one time and then I was like, this feels like cheating. I'm not supposed to have lemonade. I'm supposed to be making natural juices. I was like, dang, this is actually hard, because I've really gotten used to eating carbs and having juice. But nevertheless, as I'm on the fast, I noticed that because of what I'm eating, I'm not feeling the fatigue that I used to feel when I was just getting the carbs and sugars in regularly. And I had more energy. And because of that energy, when God is trying to speak to me, I'm not in the middle of a long nap. Now, I love a nap, but I'm not in the middle of a long nap because I'm just like super fatigued and can't think that day. I can actually hear. I can actually be like, oh, I believe this is what God is saying right now. This is what's downloading in my spirit, because my mind doesn't feel as foggy. We have to take the time to say, what is God asking for me in this season? What is it that He wants me to do? And when He gives us times like these, this is not the time to fill up your time with Netflix. I'm telling you, there are at least three shows that I want to watch on Netflix. 61st Street for sure, but I just felt in my spirit that you are going to be wasting your time, that I am trying to pour into you and give you what you have been praying and asking for. If you take the time to watch those shows and not sit with me. And sometimes we're asking God for things and we're not creating the space for Him to give it to us and tell us what it is and how it is. I heard TD Jakes said this long ago. God is going to help the tree grow. God's going to help the tree grow. But we have to actually go pick the fruit off the tree. We actually have to go do whatever it is that takes converting that tree into whatever it is that we're asking God for. He said God don't produce money. He doesn't. But He gives us gifts, talents, ideas, and things that we can use to produce what it is that we are asking for, to give us the needs that we have. but we have to put in the effort and we have to create the space for him. So today, as you're relaxing, as you're chilling, as you may be catching up today because you had enough rest Saturday and Sunday, as you're chilling and resting up or whatever you're doing, and be safe if you actually have to be out there or you're actually out there on these roads working anyway. But whatever you're doing, make time, make space for God to speak to you and tell you what it is that He has for you in this season. Make time and space for self care to take care of yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, without just allowing people to bombard your time because everybody's at home. And watch and see the clarity, the strategy, the energy that's going to come to you.